And we don't realize when we're fascinated with Jesus, then we can follow him. But if we're fascinated by because listen, this warning, Jesus gives this warning over and over and over about false signs, false wonders, false teachers, false prophets. And if you do not know this man intimately, it's serious. I mean, it's like for me in that moment, I was like, going back to the Matthew 7, in that moment, I was like, wow, I've got to be honest with myself. Like, where am I at? Like, do I know him? Am I in love with this man? And I'm telling you, when you are in love with him, you're in a place where you will give your life. You will forget about yourself. You will. You do that when you're in love, don't you? When you're in love, you'll do crazy things. Right? But why then do we say we're in love with Jesus and we live with self-preservation and we make it about us? That's not love. We've got to be honest about that. We have to be honest because I'm telling you, this is at work now. This is at work. This spirit is at work now in the church. So subtle. It's just like, I mean, that's how the enemy works too. It's just like he doesn't just grab you at once. It's like bit by bit by bit. And then your heart gets offended. I mean, there's a great falling away that's coming. I'm not normally this, like, I don't usually preach like this. This isn't like my normal kind of thing. I'm at the end of the age, but I'm telling you, I've been gripped by this recently. And I'm watching things, even in the church, as I'm sure many of you are as well. God's hitting this thing. He's exposing things. I mean, we are definitely in a season of exposure. God is cleaning. I mean, in our nation, in the nations. It's not just in our nation, it's in the nations. I travel a lot to Ukraine. I'm going back in 2 weeks. It's happening there. It's happening in England. Draining the swamp. Sorry if I offend anybody, but that's God is opening up and exposing, and he's doing it in the church. Yes, but we can't just like sit on the outside and look at it and say, God's doing it there. We have to appropriate it in our own lives. We can't just point the finger and look at, we've got to be honest with ourselves. Jesus, where am I at? Because we can't just think that's for someone else. That this delusion is for someone else. I know I don't. Lord, the minute we think that we're immune from that, we're in trouble. Never think you're immune from that, because you've already entered over into the unsafe zone. And I want to tell you, like, even speaking for me, this journey was a lot about the prophetic, because that's just been my whole life, is about the prophetic. And that is part of this spirit, at the end of the age, is about a lying prophetic spirit. False signs, false wonders, false prophets, false teachers, false messengers. It's a false voice. And we have to be able to discern the shepherd's voice. How do you discern the shepherd's voice? Exactly. He is the word. Amen. You have to know. I'm telling you right now, this book is amazing. He is the word, but it's not enough. It is not enough for you to know you can memorize every word in this book. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything if you don't personally know him.